So what happened this year was, yeah, absolutely tragic. Um, I didn't know Lazar personally, on a one-on-one level. Definitely been in groups with him and in passing, but not close. Uh, but I think that's what's so crazy about the whole thing is that no matter how close you were with him, if you're in the community, you feel it, and you're crazy not to feel it if you're in the community, and it's um, yeah, just makes me just made me sick to think about it for a little while, and still does. Um, and it's tragic, and he people feel it because games athletes are accessible, and yeah, they're heroes, and they're superheroes and superhuman, but he knew probably 300 very nice people in the affiliate that he trained at. Just on that level alone, like, just think about that, a loss for an affiliate. Um, so many people are affected, and it made this year's games really, really bizarre to watch, really weird to watch. And the athletes were put in a position to make a decision, and no decision was right or wrong. I think whatever they decided to do was good for them, and I'd be stupid to make a judgment on whatever they were feeling or going through. So, kudos for them for backing out. Kudos for them for keep fighting for it in his name. Even myself, that happens, and then you think, well, what happens to me now? And we were training that day. It was a Thursday, and I didn't feel like working out. And then we kind of looked at each other and said, well, we still should, and it was a good decision, right? Even just like working out and thinking, getting your mind off it a little bit, but. Yeah, it's wild. It shouldn't have happened. So I'm Paul Tremblay. I've been doing CrossFit for almost 13 years now. Started in 2011. It was when I first got introduced to CrossFit by a friend of mine, and 2012 was my first open. So this year I'm training for the Masters CrossFit Games. Qualified for that through the online stuff and semis, and I qualified for the games in 2012 on a team, and 2014 individually, and been in regionals basically every year since, for as long as regionals existed. And then 2019 I did a lot of sanction events, so that's when it got a little different for the qualification process. Did a few of those, and then did the online semifinals even in 2021, I think. So kind of been in the mix forever, but never actually qualified again since 2014. So I actually had a buddy of mine. I told him we were doing this, and he said, "What are they going to ask you? What took you so long?" So yeah, it took me it took me 10 or 11 years to kind of make it back to the game. So happy to do it, even if it's the Masters Games. I think it was a pretty cool opportunity to train a little bit harder and go throw down with a bunch of other guys my age, and still kind of help the Masters cause and get more people watching. I started CrossFit because I loved working out. So first of all, I just absolutely loved working out. It was kind of already part of my life, part of my routine. I played hockey growing up, and then even through hockey, I always worked out. And when I was done playing hockey is when I wanted something a little bit more in terms of competition. So yes, working out is fun, but that whole competition aspect of CrossFit is what really drew me in. And I remember perfectly, it was a friend of mine who sent me like a video or it was actually a picture of a podium of the CrossFit Games, and I think that year it might have been the year before. So 2011, it would have been like Graham Holmberg on the podium, and Rich when he finished second. And I remember looking at it and thinking, like, okay, those guys are jacked. What are they doing? And it's what I should be doing. So that's what drew me to it. And the workouts obviously just they were intense, they were fun. There was an aspect of competition to it, and just made me come back. I didn't know CrossFit gyms really existed. I didn't know what an affiliate was, so I Googled it and found an affiliate near my house at the time and went there. And then that's when I met my business partner, Reza Mashkouri. And, from there, he's like, hey, you want to open up a gym? And I was, super fresh into CrossFit, and I looked around. I'm like, this sounds, this looks pretty simple as a business model. So, yeah, let's do it. And I had a little bit of a business background, so... since then we opened up CrossFit NCR in 2013. So we've been open ever since. So in 2012 we qualified as a team for l'usine CrossFit here in Gatineau. And back then it was very, like, CrossFit was very different. I mean, CrossFit itself wasn't different, but like the competition scene was very different. We were competing on cement floors in conference centers in Mississauga for Canada East. 2 of our 3 girls didn't have muscle ups, so back then the competition was a little bit different, and you could kind of pick who did what in certain competitions. So that was kind of a different aspect too. But so 2012, we weren't really supposed to qualify, and had a really good weekend, and we qualified, so went to the games. And I remember being there in 2012 on a team, thinking I'm going to come back here for sure on my own as an individual. I think we finished maybe third last in 2012, and that's when I really realized that, we were fit, but not even close to what the guys and girls were at that point. So after that, definitely I wanted to go individual. So 2013 qualified as an individual to regionals. So I went there. I got a nice smack in the face, welcome to the individual world on workout number 1 when it was Jackie. I remember it perfectly. Just went out so hot, and Simon Paquette was beside me rowing, so fast. And Simon actually is going to the Masters Games as well, so it'll be cool to bring that back 11 years later. But 2013 individual, and then since then, 2014, I was able to qualify for the games. So, and then since then, just individual. 2014 was an awesome year. The games were super fun. It was in California. I finished 31st, so obviously not super high, but lucky enough that year I was the highest ranked Canadian. So we ended up doing the CrossFit Invitational back then, when we used to do Canada versus US versus Europe versus Australia in like a 4-hour event. Which was really, really cool and fun. I hope they bring that back one day. But did that in San Jose with Lucas Parker, Michel Letendre, Camille Leblanc-Bazinet. That's probably one of my favorite memories from CrossFit altogether is the Invitational that year. Back then, the competition a lot of it was outside, so it was in California. It was at the StubHub Center in the tennis stadium, those famous pictures and videos you see. They keep reposting that push-pull workout where Josh Bridges and Rich were going head-to-head, and I remember that workout perfectly. I was in one of the earlier heats because I wasn't in the top heat, but I won my heat that year, and I finished 5th overall in that workout. But the environment was, I'd say, a little bit different. It wasn't indoors, so there was that kind of really cool under the lights on Friday night, kind of like this year when they did it on with the running event on Friday night. But definitely back then, I mean, those guys were up here for me. Like seeing Jason Kalipa and Rich Froning and James Hobart, Maliolo, all those guys, Tommy Hackenbrook. Like when I competed against them in 2014, I was just, kind of in awe of them, Dan Bailey and all those guys. So Scott Panchak, all the real OGs. And then since then, they've become really close friends, and it's awesome. But I wish I would have been able to compete against them again. But 2014 was Rich's last year. So that, the Rich Froning individual era was done that year when he won his 4th in a row. And oddly enough, that was the beginning of Fraser, right? In 2014, that's when Fraser showed up and as a rookie and finished 2nd. So, and that's when, he took off from there. Following the games that year, I met some people at CrossFit, and I knew that I wanted to get on level 1 staff. So I started my internship right away, and then I started traveling for CrossFit, teaching level 1s, and then eventually level 2s. So, I was at the affiliate coaching. I was traveling on weekends for level 1s and level 2s, and I was trying to still, compete and train as hard as possible. So that portion of my life when I was, 26 to let's say 30, so 4 years of just like consuming CrossFit, living and breathing it, nothing else in my life than just, that training, coaching, traveling for CrossFit. So those were some fun years for sure. And then going to regionals, and 2015, I missed it by a couple of points. 2016, same. So, and then following regionals, I would get the call from Dave Castro, and I'd go to the CrossFit Games to demo the workouts. So I've been on the demo team for 5 years. Well, I've done the demo team 5 years, and those are some pretty cool experiences too. Trying to, make sure the workouts are perfect for the people there, and actually being part of the games and part of the whole event, and playing a small role in that huge, production that is the CrossFit Games. So I was able to do that, which was really cool. So being on the demo team was really cool. I'm not sure how it is now, but so I would get the call from Dave basically like right after regionals. Actually, one year he asked me at regionals. I did really shitty on the first workout, and he came up to me after event 1. This is 2018. So Jeff Adler's first year. And after the 333, I finished almost dead last. And he's like, so you want to come and do the demo team again this year? I said, Dave, like, we're just getting started here. Like, let me finish the weekend first. But I ended up still finishing in the top 10 that year. So I climbed back, but still didn't make it. Anyway, so I would go out to California for maybe a week before the games, maybe a month before the games, and then I would just test a bunch of workouts for Dave, and other people would be there as well. And then the week of the games, we would usually fly down a week before, so we would see the grounds, especially when it was in Madison, because it was new and we weren't sure of everything. So I don't know if you remember the obstacle course that they did in like 2017, but we had to run that a bunch of times. So we spend the whole week training. Like, we'd get up, meet Dave and the rest of the crew in the morning, test some workouts, test some team workouts. Then we would basically be on call. So we'd finish the workout, and then Dave would say, okay, well, you guys have some free time, but don't go too far. And then we can chill. And then we get a call 15 minutes later, says, hey, come back here. And we'd go back, and he'd say, can anybody snatch 275 right now or can anybody snatch something heavy right now for the Instagram? So yeah, sure, let's do it. So it was always kind of a little bit all over the place, but it was fun. It was some really good times. Back in when I started CrossFit, obviously the content online wasn't what it is today, and it's not constant information and content from every athlete possible. So there's always these little things that were popping up where people were doing some crazy shit online, which was really cool. Like Rob Orlando is the kind of the godfather of crazy stuff online that people would go crazy about. And then one day, my buddy asked me, he's like, you should put 405 on the bar and try and do 20 reps back squat. And I said, okay, I'll try it. So I put it on, and then I didn't even know why we were filming it, but we decided to film it and then post it online. I got 18 out of 20. And then that video kind of blew up, and then everybody, and this is, I think, after the games in 2012. So that's when, maybe people started to know who I was, or, say, oh, there's this guy and he's really strong. And then shortly after, Sam Dancer did the same thing, and I think he got 22. So, and I didn't know who Sam Dancer was back then, but in 2012, I think he saw my video and then he did it, and then he upped me by 4 reps. So it's pretty funny because now Sam is still, in the community and still competing and coaching and involved with CrossFit. So it's cool that even 12 years later, it's still some same players that are there. But yeah, I've never done that again. I've never tried it again, and I will never try it again because I don't think I could walk for about a week after that. But it was did it. Owning the gym for the last 11 years with my business partner Reza has been plain and simple, a dream come true. Like, it's just been absolutely amazing being able to do what you love and still earn and provide. So it's like it's unbelievable. And I think a lot of affiliate owners share that same feeling where it's you can really mold like the useful and the essential, right? Like, it's just something that you really enjoy, something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid, and then, well, you get paid for it, and you get to actually help people and do that stuff. So owning the gym has been amazing, and obviously with the training schedule that I had, and good business partner, really good coaches at the gym. So Reza was always super understanding with my training, and he would coach more than I would, and if I needed class covers, he would always be down to do it. And he competed as well. He was still competing and went to regionals. One year we sent 5 guys to regionals in 2015, which was really cool. 5 individuals. But yeah, I mean, it's been awesome, and it's allowed me to kind of not flourish, but do other stuff in CrossFit as well. The level 1 seminars and level 2s that I've done and traveled for that has been, that was an awesome part of my life too, and the people that I met there, and being able to travel with CrossFit, be really close to the best coaches in the world, and then bring that back to my affiliate and try to better our affiliate through just mimicking what I've seen and all that stuff. And honestly, just like seeing CrossFit grow. There's obviously a huge peak or a huge growth spurt in like 2012, 2013. I feel like we were just like right at that point, and then it blew up, and it's kind of stayed a little bit the same in the last couple of years in Canada. But seeing from not being able to, someone stopping me on the street and not knowing what CrossFit is versus now, everybody knows what CrossFit is now. Like, the word CrossFit, people know what it is. Whatever idea they have of what it is, it doesn't matter. The word is out there. Before, the word wasn't even out there, so people had never even heard the word. So now we're 11 years down the road. Lots has changed, obviously, but it's a lot more mainstream, and it's really cool to see that our gym is still up there. We still got brand new people coming in. Our retention is good, and we're super happy to still be able to do that. I just love working out, and I love the feeling. I love working out with friends. The sweating, the weights, everything. I obviously love coaching, but if I had to pick between one or the other for the rest of my life, I'd say work out, train. And I haven't been training in the last couple of years, really. I've just been, I'll say, working out, right? Like once a day, if that. And since qualifying for the Masters Games, I've upped the training and upped the volume, and honestly, it's been so fun. I forgot how much I did actually enjoy it, and doing multiple sessions a day and a couple workouts with friends a day, and it's just that aspect of CrossFit is just what I absolutely love, and that's why I started it. That's why I started CrossFit, because it was, I didn't start CrossFit to coach. I started CrossFit to work out more and harder. So coaching kind of came in with it, and I found a passion through that. But definitely, athlete side is what I like the most. A lot of factors went into that, but mainly, so I was the country manager in Canada for a couple years. Since the sale of the company from Glassman, and then I took over part of the Eastern United States and managing affiliates there, and there was a lot of travel, and for me, it meant that I was stepping away from the gym a little bit more, and stepping away from even family, just having to travel so much, and the level 1s, and when I was younger and didn't have a family, I was doing the level 1s and traveling a lot, and that was great. And now as my kids get older, and I just wanted to be more involved with that. I wanted to be able to coach both my boys in hockey, and now I'm going to help coach my daughter in hockey, and I wanted to be able to be there for that every weekend. So I decided to step away from that and get back to the gym full time. I don't know if Reza really enjoyed that decision, so it means I'm there more often with him, but definitely was a great call for us and the family. The preparation now for the Masters is a little bit different than before. I'm working out a little bit less than, let's say, when I was working out for regionals and trying to qualify for the games. But I think it's perfect for my age, for where I'm at, for the intensity that I want to put together in my training. So like today, what you're seeing is a great example of a normal day for my training. It's not crazy volume, but I'll try and do one workout really hard. So one like classic CrossFit at pretty high intensity, not too long. And then the other stuff is going to be some skill work and maybe get breathing and a little bit longer duration, but working on skills and still getting a workout in, but not necessarily that intense in every single workout. It's been super fun. Like this summer, obviously the kids were off school, so they've got to see me train, which in the last couple of years I haven't been training, right? Just working out. And they know that they're coming to Alabama. They're coming, so they know that Dad's got to train. Papa, faut qu'il s'entraîne. So that part of it has been really cool because I didn't have that when I was training for regionals and the games. I didn't have the kids, so I didn't have that external or other responsibilities. So now it's fun. You got to juggle it, right? Like I try to get some early morning sessions when they're sleeping. And then now they're back in school, so get full days, which is great. But we leave next week for the games. Yeah, they're coming. The whole thing. I wouldn't want to compete if they weren't there. So it might be hectic. It might be a little nuts in the hotel room with the kids, but I don't think I'd want to go if they weren't there watching. And they're old enough to remember some stuff, so it's gonna be special for that. And honestly, I wasn't. This year when I started the Open, I had told many people that I would not go to the CrossFit Games if I qualified. And a few people at the gym, members, had some conversations with them, and they made me see it another way. So thanks to them, I decided to, once I did qualify, to accept my invite and go and train for it. It's still personal. Like yes, I want to go and compete and see I want the kids to be able to see that. But whether I win or lose, that won't change what my kids think. But for me, whether I win or lose, that'll change, how I feel. So definitely going for, shooting for a podium. I know some really, really fit guys going, even if it's masters. 35 to 40 to 39, some really fit dudes are showing up, so it won't be easy. So that's why I think an attainable, realistic goal would be podium. To win would be tough. You never know, but that's what I'm going for. Nice. Everyone says it, like they feel a little bit better when they work out, so they're a little bit more patient with the kids and all that. I try to not have that too much of an impact on how I parent, but definitely it helps. So that's why I try to work out in the morning and work out before the kids. But ever since having kids, I think my sessions have become more efficient. So, you're not necessarily spending 3 hours in the gym to work out. And you can cram a lot of really good stuff in 45 to an hour. And that's why, sometimes a class workout is just all I need and all I want. And through COVID, we worked out. Obviously, I worked out just here through the whole pandemic with a couple friends on Zoom. We started meeting up on Zoom at 5 a.m. here in the garage on that TV and hitting small sessions anywhere from like 20 to 40 minutes. And then just sitting there and having coffee and chatting. So that was kind of my interaction during COVID with other people. But all to say that the sessions since being a dad are quick, they're efficient. And if I'm able to do more in the day, then that's great. If not, then I get that one workout in the morning and then that's it. My relationship with CrossFit or with the games and affiliate side since becoming a dad definitely has changed. And just because of the traveling and everything, and I've realized that since after COVID, I'd just rather be home and go to the gym and work more on the affiliate side with my coaches here than be out on the road. My kids do CrossFit a little bit. Like they don't do the CrossFit Kids at the gym yet. They've done a few classes, but sometimes like they'll do workouts here. And do I want them to do CrossFit? Yes. But I always say, I always joke about it, I want them to do CrossFit to help their sport. Like, I don't want CrossFit to be the only thing they do, unless they obviously just want to just do that. That's totally fine. But we definitely push sports, and all the kids play something. So right now the boys are really into hockey, and the girls are coming up in gymnastics and some little bit of soccer. So I really hope that they see CrossFit as a tool to stay in shape for sure, and to help their sport. And I think many of us growing up playing sports, finishing sports, starting CrossFit, we all say, I wish I CrossFitted my whole life. I wish I was in this shape or did CrossFit when I played hockey. I would have been a better hockey player. The talent wouldn't have changed. I still didn't have good hands, but at least my cardio would have been better, and I would have been stronger. So definitely that's what I kind of hope that the kids realize is CrossFit is a general physical preparedness program. It makes you better at everything no matter what. And that's why I try to lean on that, and steer clear a little bit of like that sports specific stuff for hockey players and football players, and just think that at this age they got to learn how to move better. So CrossFit's a really good way to do that, because the CrossFit Kids program is exactly that. It's how to love fitness. It's how to learn to move better and help yourself for other things, not just working out. So kind of the one thing that through the 10, 12, 13 years of doing CrossFit and competing and working out, I think the most important thing is exercise and moving. Through the years, the diet advice has changed. What to do pre and post workout has changed. There's different theories on everything, but what hasn't changed is exercise and movement. So I think, and yes, sure, I think that CrossFit's the best way to do that. It's the most efficient, and intensity is king. But movement is important. So my biggest, I think, learning or lesson through the years is people got to move. People have to work out. I look around and I wonder, how do people go their lives without sweating or getting a daily workout in? That just, to me, is incredible, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to start working for CrossFit as well. Is like, we need to bring that to more people. More people need to know what an hour of exercise per day can do to your life. So that's just it. And I know for myself as well, is sometimes I do go a couple days without working out, and I know what happens there. So and I love working out, but you can still get exercise in without loving working out, and it's still super important to do. So anytime someone at the gym goes through a hard time, for whatever reason, and then we start seeing them, and then we reach out and chat with them, it's always just come back. You know what exercise is going to do to you mentally, physically. So just come back and do that with us. So that's a huge, I'd say, lesson is exercise is king. Move. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I'm going to leave an impact or like something big. When you ask me that question, I think immediately of just like the hundreds and thousands of individual conversations I've had with people in CrossFit. So I think if when I'm done CrossFit and it's all said and done, whatever, or I'm older, I don't think that'll ever happen. I'll get older, but I don't think I'll ever get over CrossFit. But I think if people remember, the chats that we had at level 1s, level 2s, the pictures we took at competitions and things like that, I think that's what's really, really awesome about CrossFit and the competing side of it as well. Is athletes are so accessible. They're so normal. It's not the NHL. It's not the NFL. It's like these guys work out in CrossFit affiliates around the world, and they're superhuman. So I think that's what's really special about it. And if I was able to, over the last decade, have conversations with people and make them feel like elite CrossFitters are just normal people, then I think I did my job there. And not to take yourself too seriously, for sure, in the world of CrossFit. It's just working out. If I speak of what I know, like the days of regionals, even though there was a lot of them in like Canada East, Canada West, the days of regionals were awesome. The Open was 5 weeks long. A lot of people don't remember that, and for affiliate owners, maybe that seemed very, very long, but that was crazy. We would think about it all year, when the Open is coming. So I'd say 2012 to 2015, 16, those, for me personally, obviously great years in CrossFit and in competing. And, it just so happened that it was kind of the crossover between Rich and Frazier, in there, like Ben Smith won too, which was really, really cool for him. But definitely that era for me is what I, think back and absolutely love. Canada East back in the day, there was only 2 people that went. So you go to the competition, you have to finish top 2. And that there's only 1 spot available because Albert Dominique Larouche is going to take the top 1. So really there's only 1 spot. We'd show up and be like, okay, there's 1 spot available here. And Albert would always win, and then, that was his region. But that era, regionals was really, really cool. And there wasn't that many other competitions, and you can have arguments, for or against that, whatever. But personally, for me, it was like the season was, you do the Open, you do regionals, and then you hope for the best and go to the games. But definitely that was for me the best times.